dear friends. This meeting I would like to talk about emotional connections, what we create in our life, and also about subject how to separate from some connections because some connections bring you a lot of suffering and also blocking you to go further. Like you feel you want to grow, you want to go on, but connection with some people, they blocking you because they can be jealous. They yeah, they don't want you to see different. They just used to see you in certain way, and then they like you to be the same. And you say that I want to go on, I want to grow, I want to change my life, but they like a kind of anchor is bring you down. That's what happened. And emotional connection is very important for us because by connecting with different people, we have a form of exchange. We are feeling more happy, we're feeling more life energy. And that's important for us to connect. Of course, one of the simple way to stay alone, to separate, to disconnect, but that doesn't bring you happiness because disconnection is move your frequency down, and the more you're disconnecting, then more heavy energy become around you and with you, and yeah, that's not a good solution, yeah, to do. It's mean anyway we have to connect, and it's good for us to connect, and it's good to get exchange and connect with different people, and not only people but also nature, spirits, animals, plants. Like the more you're connecting, actually, then better. But of course, it have to be in a balance that does not make you tired. Yeah, you have to feel how much you can handle and how much you can feel good about the connection. Yeah. Another thing what is important to understand when we connect with different people, it's working a law of attraction. And if you feel sad, for example, you start to attract more people who have a similar energies than you. I think you know this law of attraction, and if you're happy, that the world around you slowly also get happy, like follow you. It's mean we can connect with the people in a different level. Yeah, you can connect with them on the level of negative emotions. You can connect if you simply split negative positive, because exist all kind of emotions, and you can connect with the people with the positive emotions, and that's another form of connection. And then higher frequency you have yourself, then more you create a situation that around you coming a people who have a similar frequency, similar or maybe higher or maybe a bit lower, but it doesn't matter, but it's more or less it resonate with your own energy. And of course, sometimes we're living many years with some people around. It can be your friends, your relatives, and imagine that you've been in a certain level of your energy, and then you, for example, decide to change your life, and you decide to grow, you decide to be more happy, enjoy your life, and people around you, they look at you as you doing something wrong because they have some vision of you, and they have an idea that you have to be the same. And it's not conscious. Most of the time it's unconscious process, and most of the time they even not wish you negative. Most of the time they wish you good, those people. But because them frequency is lower and you still have a connection with them, it's become like a kind of a dilemma. One side of you want to rise your frequency and do some rituals, some meditation, some exercise would help you. And on the other hand, you still want to connect with these people because it's your maybe family, your friends, But when you connect with that people, you feel like your energy is going down and back, and that's what I can see very often in the workshops, especially in retreats, when people coming for a long time and living in the nature, they working with themselves, they exercise, them health get better, their energy get better. But when they coming back home, they coming into the same vibes what they lived before, and all that high energy slowly get down, and then they got to the same level. Yeah. And for that reason, we used to say like this: if you want to change yourself, you have to be ready that life around you also going to be changed, because it's impossible that uh, that you are changing and all the environment and people around you is the same. It's just not going to work, because it's totally different energy, and there is only way: or you coming back and live in the same as before, or your life around you start changing, like some friends has disappeared, some new friends is coming, and maybe you with relatives is a little bit more difficult. Maybe you just less connecting with them, or maybe your relatives step by step start to accept you in your new energy. That's what happened with me. It takes very long time. It takes years, but with my family it was possible that they accept me as another person. Yeah, but it's process. Yeah, and you have to be patient, that it's slowly going on and on. And you also have to understand that emotional connection have two sides. Like one side is you, another side as a person what connecting with you. And if that person, for example, get jealous or angry or negative about you, of course you will feel that. And if you feel that, it's mean that energy of that person is still resonate with you and try to pulling you into the same frequency, into the same energy. And way to change, it's try consciously bring your focus about new things. Like you can start more praying, you can start more focusing about spirits of Umai, spirits of the Ulgin, focus about high spirit Tengri, and then it's help you to switch your frequency. Yeah, and then even that person's thinking negative about you or jealousy about you, you will not feel it so much, or you will feel it, but it will be not much bothering you anymore. But if you are not focused about high frequency, then normally you start to move down, because you start to suffering from the same energy. Because if the connection is strong, especially if we talk about uh, partnership, like a relation, if you have a relation, for example, between man and woman, and then you decide to separate, the separation, it's not it's you can separate physically, like you cannot live together, you cannot communicate, but energetically the connection is still there, and the person from other side can still even like manipulate, like blocking you by constantly send negative energy, by blaming you, by yeah, being jealous, by being stressed, by being angry. And again, because you it's resonate with you and you not do anything else to change that, it's can bring you really in heavy position. And what can help you in this situation, like a trick, you can say shamanic trick, when you have a certain situation that somebody have emotional connection and limiting you, or maybe even manipulating you with it, what you can do, you can try to be another a person. Like like in shamanism we have a special way to transform yourself, your dream body, into the another creature. Like you can be a wolf, you can be a bear, you can be another person. Yeah, and you can choose what kind of person you want to be. and you can even have another name as that person, and then you feel that you are that person. And then a person who have emotional connection to you cannot reach you anymore, because you are like jumping into another person. It's mean you have the same body, but you sense yourself differently. It's like you transforming yourself into somebody else. Yeah. And of course it's not easy to hold that feelings all the time, that you all the time feel that you are that person, or animal, because anyway, if you lose your focus, your consciousness, then you're shifting back to the person what you normally are. But you can try at least, because anyway that emotional connection have like a wave. Sometimes it's stronger, sometimes it's less, and when it's become stronger, you can use that trick, shamanic trick, that you become something else or somebody else. Yeah, an animal or the person. And when you become somebody else, like, it's not possible to reach you, because that's another energy, that's another person, and that person what connected with you don't know you like this. And that's why often I advise people, when they have a lot of connection with the past, uh, a lot of things what bothering them, like traumas, like really problems, and they decide really change them life upside down. I decide to do several things. First, you change your name. Second, you change the place where you live. And the third, you change your kind of style, how you look like. It can be the hair, it can be different. You can just get bald, you take all your hair away, or you can just make another style. Like, it's help you to start a new life. Of course, it's not change your life, yeah, but it's help you, because it's also help you to feel different. And if you feel different, people who connect you energetically, they cannot reach you anymore, because they connect with somebody else, who you was before. But because you changed, they cannot do that anymore. That's the trick what you can do. And also you should understand that most of the emotional connection, what is blocking us, what is limiting us, it's based on the fear. And that's also like a black shamanism is working. Like black shamanism, it's a spiritual people, or also not spiritual, it's just the people who try to manipulate with fear. Like they tell you some information which is scaring you, and then they use that situation when you're scared, when you're afraid. They use it to convince you to do something. Yeah, maybe buy something, maybe go somewhere, maybe do something for you. And most of the manipulation based on fear. And it's not only people who can be a black shamans, but a government, sometimes a hospital can be like a black shaman, because they're not giving you any alternative options. They just say you must do this way because you will die, for example. Yeah, and that's make you in fear, and then you already do whatever they say, without even understanding sometimes what really it will bring to you. And for the same reason, yeah, like, by understanding that is the fear, I would first suggest that you get out of the fear before you make a decision, because um, the black shamanism, it's not that some person or some kind of tradition or whatever. It's just a negative intention to manipulate. Yeah, and not always that intention is conscious. Like, not always people want to manipulate you like from the mind. Yeah, sometimes they do it just intuitively, just they have that talent, let's say like that, um, talent to manipulate, and they maybe learn that from past lives, from childhood, and it's just their way of living. and they can manipulate you, and first of all they're scaring you, yeah. And if you see that somebody's scaring you and try to tell you what to do, first of all try to take a little distance or a big distance, make yourself in balance, switch from the fear to harmony, if you can do that. If you cannot do that, just try to move, walk, or for example, that help to release the fear. And then you observe that situation more like in a distance, more with awareness, and then you can make a decision already, yeah. Because to make a decision in fear, it's quite dangerous, because yeah, you can make a decision which is not your decision. You just follow a manipulation very often. And that's what yeah, what you have to be aware, because low connections mainly based on fear, yeah. And we are looking for opportunity to rise our frequency, but if you see that somebody blocking you, manipulating you, it's most of the time located on the fear level. But exists also situation that you cannot get out of that person. Maybe that person is your husband or your father or mother or whatever. Then of course you can stop the connection, but they will still your parents, for example, or they're still your partner. For that reason you need to choose another way, like you behave maybe like they expect from you, those people, but inside yourself you uh, see that you just play the role, yeah. Because exists situation that you cannot just separate with that people, yeah. Maybe it's your child, maybe it's your parents, maybe it's your partner, and you're not ready to separate, you don't want it, and there's no way for that. And then you can always take another trick, you can say, that you behave like play theater, you know what people expect from you, you play what they want from you, but inside of yourself you do what you want and what you need, and where to go. Of course it's not easy, because in a way it's a kind of process which is going on and on and on, and you cannot say what you really want to say, but for some period it also can be a solution before the situation can be changed. Because of course ideal situation, if you have a partner and people around you, your family, and you changing and they all changing too, you all growing together, this is ideal situation. There's a perfect way of being and living, but it's not always possible. For that reason sometimes you have to be flexible, and you have to be also like what I say, learning to play a role. You see what they want from you, and just not touch the difficult subjects. Don't be against, don't create a war, but just say, okay, yeah, I have your own way, I respect your way, and yeah, try to avoid the difficult subjects, yeah. For a while it can help, but if you keep rising your frequency up, you start to see that your energy start influence people around you, and they step by step start changing as well. Only you have to be patient, yeah, because it's really not easy to be patient in that situation, because you feel, oh, life is changing and everyone have to changing too. No, we're living in a material reality which is very, very slowly and takes some time to change the world around you. Because remember, what is inside of you resonate what is outside of you. And if you keep your beauty, your love, your harmony inside, then it's definitely will influence the world around. Another advice what I can give people who have such a situation: learn to die. I have, not I have, but in Siberian tradition we have rituals about shamanic death. Shamanic death, it's a way to learn to let go. Because what is death? Death, it's not end. And death is a process of transformation, when you let go something and when you get into the new kind of life, yeah, or in a new form. like you left something behind and you receive something new. And all our life it's going that way. And real death, which is nothing afterwards, does not exist. Always something going afterwards. And if we're changing life, it's also a form of death. And you have to learn to let go of the past. If you cannot let go of the past, you will stay in the same kind of energy. And that rituals, shamanic death, very helpful for people to learn to let go, because we also living in the time when we take all the human society in a huge transformation process, and now we are looking for the new way of living, of being, and that's very important to get that quality to let go, to learn to let go. Yeah. And this is Ehrlich. Yeah, this is Ehrlich energy, and that's what we need to find a good connection with Ehrlich and ask Ehrlich to help. And what you can do to learn to let go, you can do it in your dream, because sometimes you want to separate with somebody or with something, with some organization, but it's difficult. And to make a decision, you can visualize that in your head, and maybe better even with the drumming. And by visualizing, then you can easily make a decision inside. And if you visualize that several times that you separate, then it will be in some moment will be possible to make it in real. Because sometimes those organization or people, they're really holding you, and you want to go out but you can't, because that emotional connection so strong that when you are there you're not aware of that, but when you try to get out you really have troubles. I have the same when I was uh, before I get to my teacher, working in a big factory, and I thought, oh, just I say goodbye and I go my way. But it was difficult for me. When I really have to make a step to get out of that big factory, I feel a huge resistance. Then I realize how strongly that factory holding me, and I was very surprised. I say, "Oh, interesting," and it takes me so much emotional power to get out of that factory. Yeah, because practically nothing is holding me, but energetically I felt that that connection, and I make a decision. I visualize that several times in my head, and then uh, finally I did all the steps and I go. But it was painful process, because letting go, it's quite a discomfort. And actually, what we learn to face discomfort and be comfortable with the discomfort. That's the way, and this is the way of yeah, the way of disconnecting that emotional connections what you don't want to have. It's mean in the form of shamanic death. Death, it's like you letting go. You learn to let go. And actually, the rituals of shamanic death also can help you with that subject, to disconnect some connections what you don't want to have anymore, because you want to go on. That's what I want to say about the subject, and I wish you to disconnect all your connection what you don't want to keep anymore. Also, I recommend you to use rituals of shamanic death. You can find them in my online school, and there's five rituals. Actually, there's 7 rituals, but one ritual we do like a vision quest, another ritual we do like a sweat lodge, like a shamanic banya, sauna, and you cannot get them in online. You have to come and do it practically. And if you like to have vision quest or sweat lodge, you can always come to my healing center. It's open from June till end of August, and every summer I invite people to yeah, to experience some cleansing, healing, or just being connecting with the nature. Thank you.